time without a 20-point scorer. Why would you say that is, and what that communicates about you guys?
It's overall collective will. We have as a team, and elite role players, which I would call it. We have 2 all-stars on the team, but at the same time, they'll be the first to tell you that anybody's night at any given time. So we just really, I really fall into that philosophy.
Myles, what's been different about, I know you've obviously been with this team your whole career, going on 10 years. I'm sure this question has been asked, but truly after seeing the performance in Game 1 and how you guys closed it out, what is it that makes the team so resilient in comparison to not teams in the past, but what really separated this group, you feel like, from your perspective?
We're battle tested, man. I think we do well with adversity. I think we thrive in adversity. I think that this team hasn't been like a cupcake run for us. We over the past really 4 years we've really built towards this moment. So I think that more than anything, the last 2 months of the season or so, we were in a position quite a bit where we had to fight from behind and come back. And when you have that mock test coming into the final test being here, it does look help.
It's all about being ahead at the end. But what do you take away from this game, this first game? I mean, only being ahead 0.3 seconds left. What do you guys need to change for Game 2?
I don't see it that way. I think that at this final stage, you're not always going to be up by 10, 20 points. You spend so much time studying the other team and scouting that, sometimes it'll come down to 1 or 2 plays or 1 or 2 possessions. So we know, obviously, the biggest glaring thing was our turnovers. Once we cut those down, we'll put ourselves in better positions. But, you can't view game by game as like we got to go up by, such points. It's a possession by possession battle.
And it's a chess match all the time. We talk about the finals, next move. What do you expect it's going to be different for Game 2?
I haven't even looked forward, to the expectation, brother. I think my biggest thing is just figuring out what we can change, as a collective unit. We study our film, we study the unit, and I can't tell you what our chess moves going to be, but we make our moves.
Myles, what's been the biggest thing that's led to success on road games this postseason for you guys? It's impressive.
Again, this overall belief in ourselves, and then just I think allowing ourselves to lose ourselves in the moment. I think when you're on the road, the adversity, people booing you, people saying all sorts of. I gotta respect, OKC fans are a lot different than New York fans, but just the different things that get you going on the road will be different.
Myles, what's been the most gratifying part about this run for you? Because you've been through the highs and lows, and to get to this point, maybe you never thought could even be possible.
Yeah, bro, it's just the moment itself, man. Just every single day, just how painful it is after a game. Just how much you don't sleep. How much better the food tastes, like all the little things, I'm taking it all. I'm not taking it for granted, just finally being here, just finally being able to, just soak my feet in the moment, just taking it day by day. So I think the best part about it is just the process of it all. It's been a lot of fun.
Myles, who would you say is from your teammates would be the best head coach in the future?
Oh, TJ McConnell for sure. He's gonna hate that, but TJ McConnell for sure.
And who would be the worst businessman?
Worst businessman. Well, I came out of left field. Let me think. The worst businessman on our team would probably be Ben Sheppard. I was going to say that just because it's an easy cop out and I just saw him walk by.
Myles, Coach Carlisle gives you a lot of freedom on offense. Why does that work so well for this team?
Man, that's what this is about, man. That's where the roots of this game comes from. I think just when you go out and play pickup basketball or play street ball or whatever, you're just going out there creating. And, we're all savants out there. I think it allows us just to be ourselves. And I think the days of, calling a play every single, time up and down, it's the playoffs, man. People scout for that. People scout your next move. So you got to be able to think and create on the fly.
Hey, Myles.
What sets Drew apart? Sorry. Go right ahead, Bill.
All right. Actually, I want to go ahead.
Hey, Myles.
What's good, sis?
You guys have talked about the wear-down effect throughout the playoffs. What impact, if any, did that have on the results of Game 1?
It's part of our formula, you know what I mean? And I think that when you get to this time of the year, you don't switch up, what you do. So we know this is a younger team, it's a team that kind of has the same philosophy as us, but, it's just in the fourth quarter when you get picked up full court or, you get word on a bit, those shots are a lot harder to hit, the threes that you've been hitting all game are a little bit different than the last 3 minutes of the game when you're a little more tired. So, I think that it's an overall philosophy thing, but, at the end of the day, you got to continue to keep grinding it out.
Talking about the fans, also you in Indiana have great fans, and obviously also here in Oklahoma. The fandom in the NBA normally is not like that crazy when you also look compared to other sports and especially soccer and all that. How do you experience that, and what does it mean to you, like having such a perfect example that the fandom and those fans can go on both sides so crazy?
Yeah, I mean, you have two small market teams here, and two communities that really put everything behind their teams. So, yeah, like so much more passion that comes with it. You know what I mean? As opposed to your bigger market teams, if you will. Like this, some people, that's all they have. They pour everything they have into their team. So it's a lot louder in these type of environments. We definitely realized that game one. When you're in the huddle, you can't hear, or you got to give hand signals. I mean, that type of stuff is real. This time of the year. And then when we get back to Indiana, it's going to be the same exact thing. So it's just a ultimate competitor's environment, man. It's fun.
Myles, first half, game one, not your greatest half. How did somebody step up at halftime in the locker room, send a message like don't give up, stuff like that?
I think it was a collective messaging. It wasn't just one person that said we have to do this, this, and that. I think we all realized what the moment was. And again, I think our team thrives in adversity. We'd all been there plenty of times before, and we kept our messaging pretty simple. We did the obvious glaring thing was the turnovers, and outside of that was just a collective will to get it done.
38 sets Drew apart defensively. What makes him such a great defensive player?
Drew's a lot stronger than he looks. I don't think that's people don't realize that. He's a very balanced player. He's a very smart player, and I think his anticipation is huge as well. Someone that has just a natural feel for the game.
Myles, what is the most important value for you to play the finals?
Most important what? I'm sorry.
The value.
Oh, value. Man, it's just the fact that I'm here. I may not ever get this opportunity again. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna take full advantage of it. So that's the biggest value, is the fact that you work so hard to get here. You just never know when the opportunity will present itself again.
Myles, what's getting you ready for the next game? There's no guarantees around here. You've been in the league 11 years, first finals. There's some rookies who go right in and make it. But how do you tell young guys like that? It's not like this all the time.
Yeah.
See,
I literally was just talking to one of our rookies, Johnny Furphy, about it. It was just like, you're spoiled, man. The fact you get to, get this, as a baby is huge, man. But, whether you get here again or not, just you have to be where your feet are, man. Really enjoy, what this moment, opportunity presented itself to be. Even if you're not playing, man, just look at the cadences, look at the crowd, look at everything that comes with this, because this is the final stage. We're the only team playing. What they say, EuroLeague's done, all the bigger basketball leagues are done except for us. So it's fun.
when you got into the league, did you think it was going to take this long? Did you think, first, second year, third year, tops?
Man, I didn't know what to expect, because I got spoiled a little bit myself. My first year, I went to a Game 7, in the first round, and got to see a competitive environment. And you do get to start thinking that it's going to come year by year by year. And then you miss the playoffs 3 or 4 years, and it's like, oh wow, that itch starts to come come again.
Myles, the turnovers, is it something that OKC was doing, like now that you guys have watched film on it, or is this internal, I guess?
It's a combination. I think that they've built their brand, they built their, just really the overall the way they play off of their defense, where they swarm the ball, where they got guys selling out, so, a little bit was that, a little bit was us being a little careless with the ball, so it's a combination.
Were you surprised to see the much media around?
You said the media?
Yeah, surprised that much.
Not necessarily, because I just know that this is the stage, right? Everybody wants to be here, including y'all. This is what y'all do this for, to cover the biggest moments, the biggest athletes, So not necessarily, and I think it's just a great opportunity for everybody.
Shane had 4 gets on 30 shots, high usage but relatively low passing for him. What was the process like? How did you feel like you guys did when you revisited the film?
Could have been a lot better, to be honest. We realized he missed a few shots, but at the same time, for us collectively to get where we need to be, it has to be a better overall effort on him.
All right, thanks everyone. That's it. For sure.
What is Andrew showing you guys though by frequently taking the best scorers on
Yeah. Him, Andrew and Aaron both are great defenders, and it's no surprise now. Everybody knows them. Everybody seen what they did last year, seen what they did this year, and they just dogs. They go out there and get the job done, do their job to the best of their ability.
Coach Carlisle gives y'all a lot of freedom as an offense.
Yeah.
How does that work so well for y'all?
Yeah. It's just trust, and it starts with Ty. Obviously, Ty is an amazing player, superstar player, and everybody understands that. And we also have other great leaders in Pascal and Myles as well. And being on the court with those guys, they're great leaders. Like they're making sure we're staying along within what we're supposed to be doing, and everybody on this team listens, and that's why we're where we're at.
Are we talking about Pascal?
Yeah.
We saw you doing some soccer tricks.
Yeah.
Where
Like
do
that,
you?
right?
Yeah. Where do you learn that?
I'm an athlete. I feel like I can play every sport. People who know me know I can play anything. But my girl's a soccer player. She used to play soccer at George Mason. She was pretty good. So just messing around in the house, I picked up on a couple things. So.
And who you got for the club World Cup?
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie.
You have been changing your game style from primary dunker.
Say it again.
You have been changing your game style
Yeah.
from primary dunker to a shooter.
Yeah.
Who is
I'm a
helping
shooter
you?
now?
Yeah. You did 5 triples.
Yeah, I like that.
Who is helping you with that?
Who's helping me? I feel like myself, but obviously all the coaches as well. Me feeling the trust that they have with my shots. The work that we've put in. Obviously Mike, one of our assistant coach, I've been working with him the past 2 years. But like just being in the games and knowing that they have trust in me, even the players as well, it gives me a lot of confidence in myself. And so I just go out there and trust my work and trust that it's going to always go in.
What is the best motivation you have in these finals?
Best motivation?
Yes.
The ring. I mean, like everybody keeps saying, like there's a lot of players who've been in the league, great players who haven't been to the finals, haven't won the finals, and to have this opportunity to be here, it's a blessing, and we're not going to take it for granted.
Do you think that winning the game on the last shot gives you guys a boost of energy compared to, like, let's say winning by 10?
Yeah.
And how was the locker room like after game one?
Winning a game, period, gives us some energy, but it's not about one game. It's a 7-game series, first to 4, and so that game's over with, and we have a game tomorrow that we have to worry about, and so we're gonna just get better and learn and get prepared for tomorrow.
Can you talk about the crowd? You had some early turnovers, and yet rather than maybe say it's not your night or anything, Rick went back to you for what happened later, and he went back to you pretty quickly. But
right.
Is that built on a relationship that you have?
Relationship, trust, the feel of a game. Like I did have those early turnovers, but at the same time, it's most of our first times in the playoff. The game was moving fast, but those are no excuses. Like trust, coach has a lot of trust not only in me but in all the guys on our bench, and when we feel that, we feel confident. And that's why when I came out in the second quarter, came out in the second half, everything was a lot better.
What do you attribute to your career year? Just comfort, you got the new contract, you got engaged. Like what is it special about this season, and what has clicked for you?
Like you said, everything. This has been a great year for me. Obviously started off beginning of the year having my son Uzziah, getting engaged in Paris in whatever month that was. I should know that, right? That. Yeah, facts. It's just a lot going on right now. But the Paris thing, and then obviously having the opportunity to be here, it's been an amazing year, and we're not going to take it for granted. We're gonna get the job done.
Was it easy to slow down and go to sleep after game one?
Yeah. Not really. No, I'm not gonna even lie. Like it was definitely a fun journey in game one, but like I said, once I went to sleep and woke up, it's a new day, and we gotta get prepared for the next game.
What do you expect for tomorrow's game?
It's going to be a great atmosphere, and I expect we're going to get their best punch coming out for game 2.
Where does that trust in Tyrese come from? Just take us behind the scenes a little bit.
I mean, he's our franchise guy. He has showed up in the biggest moments for us since he's gotten here, and I think it's just more magnified now that's on the biggest stage. But we've seen him do this a lot in practice and in games, and he's made big play after big play, and obviously very proud of him for the growth that he's made.
TJ, I know the family means so much to you. Take me through wearing that jersey, and then also what it means to you to have Meg where she is while you're on this platform.
Yeah, I love my sister dearly. So proud of everything she's accomplished. So when she made the team, I was at a loss for words, almost cried. And so I tried to get that jersey as quickly as I could so I could wear it and honor her and show her how proud of her I am. And I'm grateful for the Mercury organization sending that over as quickly as they did and doing that. And something very special for me and my family.
Thanks, all.
Thanks, Teach. Thanks.
Hey,
Thomas, you were teammates with Caruso when he was a rookie. What do you just remember about your guys' time together? Was there ever a moment you guys could be in front of you used to?
Oh man, what I remember about Caruso is that he was the hardest working guy. He always kept the team in line, man. Like, the one thing about Caruso is that he always gave it his all. Offensively, defensively. Defensively, he was always a terror out there. So, going against him in this platform, man, it's special. It's amazing, man. And I'm glad I get to go against him. I wish we were still teammates, but hey, it's fun. It's fun to go against him now.
Thomas, you guys had so much success out of that left corner, knocking down 8 of 10. You had one of those. Was that a read you guys saw? Was that something coming in was going to be available against this team?
Well, we knew that our jump shooter was going to be a key source for us, and against this team, you have to take what you can get. They're a great defensive team, and they cover their grounds really well. So when we have those openings, we kind of have to try and take those as soon as we get them. We're not going to get too much out of this going against this defense too much. So when we get those openings, we got to take them when we can.
You came in mid-season. At what point did you feel comfortable, confident in what you were doing and being part of this entire group?
It took me a little bit. Sometimes even now I still feel a little, feel a little sideways sometimes because, again, going with a team that has success throughout the years, and when you're one of the new guys coming in, you just want to try and gain success, keep the success going, and not be detrimental in any way. There's still, it's not going to be perfect out there. We're still going out there, making sure that we run the game plan, but also run what we want to do out there with our guys' tendencies out there, and we try to do that to the best of our abilities.
TV, the last 2 series, including this one, so I guess 3, you've won the first game on the road. How big is that just mentally to steal at least one on the road?
I think it's a really, really big mental standpoint out there because, playing on the road is very tough, especially in the playoffs. It's 10 times tougher than anything else. So when you can steal one on the road, man, it means a lot for us, mentally, psychologically, and going into the other games, going in with a full head, good circle around us, and the confidence that we have to go in those games. So it feels good.
Thomas, now that you've been with this team for a while, what has stood out to you about Rick and how he operates and commands this roster?
I believe Rick is a great, fabulous coach, man. And the thing about it is that Rick has been here multiple times. He's felt this. He knows it, as a player and as a coach too. So, you get the best of both worlds right there from a coach. And for him, he always puts us in a great position to succeed, man. And he leans on his bench. He loves his starters, but he also loves his bench too. And that's where I really love that about him as well. That he gives us the opportunity to go out there and play.
Is there any similarities with Spo?
I would say same but different. The similarities is about the top conditions, wanting to get out and run fast, run our pace, and ball movement on the offensive end, and defensively, being a terror out there, getting some stops that we can run in transition. I would say the similarities were there.
Thomas, what was the vibe like playing in this arena with this crowd?
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was at one point where we couldn't even hear each other out there, offensively and defensively, for about a good, I would say, 3-4 minutes straight. And my years of being in the league, man, I've never had that long of a tension of not being able to hear, even when the Warriors were having their thing right there, man. But it was a great crowd, a great atmosphere, man. And those are the atmospheres and crowds that we thrive and we love to play against and we love to play in.
Thomas, when you have a player like Shea and Andrew's kind of got the first assignment on him, how taxing is that? Your current guy is going to have the ball that much, going to shoot that much, going to drive that much. What does it physically, mentally say about Andrew's able to hang in there like that?
It shows a lot of his resilience and his fight. I feel like people just don't talk about it enough, man, because to be able to do that on a nightly basis, especially on a platform like this in the finals, and a great player like Shea against a great OKC team, and we ask him to do a lot out there in the defensive end, and also go out there on the offensive end and produce for us too, man. That's a lot, I don't think people understand of how much Drew really means to us for this team, and and how not even well, it's great that he's doing out there to go out there, go against Shea, the MVP, and go against other guys, and we ask him to do a lot out there on the defensive end for us, and he gets it done for us day in and day out, man, and that's amazing to see. You know, I'm just happy that he's getting some real good glorification for it.
Thomas, you've been in a championship team before. What similarities do you find between that roster and this roster?
Well, the similarities, I would say, is that the camaraderie that we have and the togetherness that we have. You know, one thing about it was that Denver Nuggets team that I was with was very close. You know, we hung out on and off the court, and I see the same similarities with this team. You know, and it was throughout the season as well that we were hanging out, gaining chemistry, talking to each other about this and that, and we can always say something to each other and not we can hold each other accountable. Nobody gets offended by it, and that's one thing that it might be a small thing, but those go a long way, especially in the playoffs.
Who would you say would be from the current roster the best head coach in the league in the future?
Ooh, that's tough, man, because there's a lot of great coaches out there, man. To be honest, I can't put one finger on it. And you know, the Phoenix coach that just got their main coach, man, he was one of my coaches in LA, and I always wanted to see him be a coach. So it's great to see him get that possibility. So, you know, it's a lot of great coaches out there, and I just hope they get their opportunities when they can.
From the Pacers roster, from this Pacers roster, who would be in the future a good head coach?
Oof, all of them actually. Jenny, LP, shoot. Those are the two off back that I would say for sure.
Thank you.
Can you take us through the last two possessions, the missed shot and then your made basket at the end? How did you experience it? Did it go slow? Did it go super fast? How did you experience it?
No, I was in the middle of the game. It wouldn't say it happened too fast, but it was just like kind of like reality. If you weren't paying attention, you probably wouldn't see it. So I was glad I was paying attention at that point. And you know, we fought to the end right there, and luckily we got a stop, and Tyrese made a elation shot to give us the win.
And then the locker room, the mood afterwards. It seemed like there was a shock going through the building. How was it in your locker room?
That was good. You know, we were happy about it, but our immediate response was, let's get ready for game 2. You know, we were happy that we got the win. We happy that Tyrese got the shot off, but everybody's mindset as soon as we got into the locker room was, great, congratulations, but let's focus on game 2 now.
Like the energy in the building, stuff like that, all the stuff that leads into it, like media, all that type of stuff. But us and the guys are just focused on not letting the stage get too big, and just focusing on us as a team. So,
Was what you thought, or was it higher, the expectation?
What'd you say?
The intensity was what you thought, or it was higher?
I think it was what I thought. I think our team does a good job of not letting the moment get too big, like I said. But yeah, it's the finals, it's the biggest stage, so just try to not think of that and play our game.
Ben, you guys were 8 of 10 in that left corner. Was that something you saw a gap where, hey, let's take advantage of that, or did it just play out that way in your mind?
Yeah, coach has been giving us confidence to let it fly. When we get open shots, just go into it like we go into it in practice, and just be confident in our games and our shots, and we have to make that type of things like you said. So.
What is the best advice that you can give the young athletes about playing on the NBA?
Just keep working. I'd say for a player like myself, I didn't really know that I could make it to this level until like my senior year of college. So just being confident, trusting your work, and just doing everything you can to better yourself as a player.
I know it's not scientific, but does it become contagious? You had 9 guys in a 3, 4 different guys in a 3 in that fourth quarter. Does it become contagious in a way when one guy starts seeing a fall that it just sort of spreads?
Definitely, especially in a game like that, the tensions are high and stuff doesn't seem to be going our way. We see a bunch of different guys hitting threes, and just gives everyone confidence, I feel like, and that energy boost that we needed in that point in time.
How much does the three-pointer become, I don't want to say like a security blanket, but when other things aren't going well, but you know you have that, you know that you can weaponize the three-point line.
Yeah.
Just kind of solves a lot of other problems.
It's a huge shot, especially being down like we were that whole game. Just seeing a 3 go in is just kind of a breath of fresh air for us, and we took advantage of it.
You knew leading up to the series that OKC forces a bunch of turnovers, right? It's their thing. You talked about avoiding it. Yeah, you still had 18 or 19 in the first half. What do they do that makes it so even when it is a focus, it's still something you have to deal with?
I feel like they take away the whole paint. It seems like they're flying around everywhere. They play a tight-knit defense, and they're all connected. I've heard people say it's like 5 people on a string, and that's what it really looks like out there. So just being confident with the ball, being strong with the ball, and making good decisions be super important for us.
A lot of people are talking about obviously like team destiny stuff with you guys with all the comebacks and everything. Like from the inside, where do you how are you guys able to do this? Where does that come from?
I just say being cool, calm, and collected in those late moments. Looking at coach and players like Tyrese and Pascal and Myles, who just seem super calm. I feel like it carries over to the rest of the team, and just seeing those guys and how they react just definitely has a trickle-down effect with the rest of the team.
Do you kind of feel like it's built because it's happened so many times? Like once it happens a couple of times, you guys are kind of like, well, we're never in a situation where we feel like we're out of it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like me personally, I've seen this stuff since my rookie year last year, so I know we're never really truly out of a game. So.
This is for Dominican Republic. How can you remember playing alongside Chris Duarte?
Along who?
Chris Duarte.
Yeah, I wasn't here yet. Last year was my first year, so he was gone. So.
How loud is Pascal's?
In terms of growth and impact from him in your time at UCLA?
He's impressive. Just taking on the tough assignments and being able to do what he does in the offensive side of the ball at a high level is just super, super impressive to me, and I'm learning a lot from him on the defensive side. But just watching him grow throughout last year and seeing the impact he has on our team is definitely cool.
Why do you think he's so effective defensively?
Just the way he moves and his IQ. A lot of people talk about offensive IQ, but defensive IQ is definitely a thing, and he has that. So just making the right moves, being in the right position, and just being a team leader on defense.
You talk about against him, right?
Yeah.
How are those matchups?
I mean, he won Defensive Player of the Month in February, I think, and I think he should be talked about more, honestly, for what he does. But it's just super impressive.
You talked about all the atmospheres you saw last year and this year, and of course the Fieldhouse back home. But first time being here in a playoff atmosphere. That was something special, but to send them home quiet, that was nice too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was super loud in here. I thought in warm-ups when everyone was clapping those things that they had in their hands for the whole period before they tip off, that was crazy. So definitely cool.
Shep, in what ways has Pascal's voice been impactful since you've gotten here?
I just say like his calmness, and he's been more vocal than I feel like than he was last year. But just looking at him as a leader, he's been in these positions, so it's super important for all of us to listen to him and take his advice.
Guys like Aaron Neesmith or Andrew Nemhart who are fighting over every single screen. What does that allow you guys to do defensively? How much more difficult is that to really go against when they're going over on everything?
I just say wearing down the other team. You can throw Aaron at him, you can throw Drew at him, Ben Matthew, me. We just have a lot of versatile defenders that I feel like can bring different intensities to the game.